for fuck's sake. So, I got this Murray here. I was trying to record earlier, but my camera stopped, so I got that one I had about a month ago. I'll explain that on that later. This one I got for 20 bucks today is a 2005 Murray 2-in-1 combo. You can mulch or side discharge. I got some mulch plugs here. Got 3 of them. So, the only thing it's missing is the carburetor. And I don't know what else it's missing. I tried to see if it had spark. It didn't have spark, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the safety wire on here, because instead of there being a shut-off on the back, see, there's no cover, there's no opening for it. Instead of there being a shut-off on the back, like to the handlebars, you can shut it off with via throttle, like they used to do back in the 60s and 80s for these old mowers. And this one doesn't have it, but you know, it's an option. I could do that with this one. It's just that I don't have it on there right now. It's pretty good, but the problem is there's no adapter on the shaft, so I gotta source one. The problem is with this one, it's got a severely bent blade. Look at that shit. Here, let me turn this over a little. Like, look at that shit. Look at that. That is gnarly. I don't know what the hell they hit, but holy frick. That is pretty bent. I could probably bend that back a little bit, but that's gonna be impossible. As you can see, it doesn't have a blade adapter, but it does have the woodruff key still in it, if you can see it. I don't think you can. Yeah, there it is. It's still got the woodruff key in. So, and it's still got the baffles in it, so that means it's going to do really well. Usually these types of mower decks, the baffles will rot and fall out, and then it won't mulch well, or it won't discharge well. So, the engine is a 3.75 Sprint engine. I think the reason why it got dumped was because the pull start broke. It's usually, it's always something with these engines. You know, back then in 2005, these mowers were pretty common. They were cheap, but holy hell, these flathead engines, you put them through so much grass and they'll still keep ticking. They're like a Cummins diesel, you know. You put them through World War II, they'll still be ticking. Well, not for this one, no. If you put this through World War II, it's gonna come out in like a handful of bits, or just a handful of powder. But yeah, I think I had a rat's nest at one point, because there's debris here. Either that, or it's just, well, I don't see any chewed up wire, so that's a good sign. But it's got this guard on here, which is cool. I love that. That's something I've always wanted, is a muffler guard. This usually keeps you, like, if you accidentally brush your hand near the muffler, this guard, it keeps your hand off the hot muffler, but this guard still gets heat. It won't burn you as badly, as at least I think so. So, the only thing it needs is a carburetor, and needs spark, and then it should run. I did check the oil when I was there. It looked a little bit sludgy, but if I look at it through the light, I can see some color in it. It's like a root beer brown. Like, root beer brown. But I seen this flywheel. It's really tall. It looks like a flywheel off of an 8-horse, even though it isn't. But I guess that was the thing with these Sprint engines. They came with this heavy flywheel for a much better counterbalance, so that way it could spin better. I think I discovered a ladybug in here. He's in there somewhere. Is he dead? No. I think he dead. Great. I killed him. But yeah, you can see there's a little tab right there. What it does is, when it's not touching, it just grounds it out to the engine. So when it's not touching, it will keep the engine running, but when you touch it, it will ground out through this piece, and then through here, and then through the whole engine, and then it will shut it off. It's basically how the throttle shut-off works. So my guess is it had a throttle control on here instead of a regular shut-off, like a safety bar shut-off like those ones have, or this one has. The safety bar on here I found over in the weeds that I forgot I had, because I had a silver colored Murray with a Tecumseh that was blown. It was blown up. It had a broken rod, I think. At least I think it did. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look back on some old videos. But it was blown. And I got rid of it because the deck was rotted. It was really gone. It was really far gone. But I still see clear coat on it. Look at the back. See the reflection? If I move the camera side to side, see that there's still clear coat on me here. I mean, yeah, it's been sun faded and such, but it's still good. There's no rot anywhere. See, rust is different from rot. If this was up in Pennsylvania where I live, this would probably have rust holes in it because the salt content in Pennsylvania is like 3 times as higher. Because whenever it's wintertime up there, whenever it snows, it always the trucks that lay down the salt on the road to keep it from icing, they like dump like the whole frickin' tanker of salt on the road. It's terrible, and it makes the cars rust. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. I tried getting spark to it, and I didn't get any spark. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna restring this pull start, put some bolts through it. I mean, it is a little bit rusty, but you know, it's not terrible to the point where it's putting holes through it. The original tank that I found in the yard had rust holes in it, in the tank itself, so I knew it wasn't any good. But I did, however, I think I have a spare tank on hand. It's somewhere around on this table, or maybe below. It's somewhere. When I say I have it, I can't find it, and it's annoying. So it's somewhere around here. It's just I can't find it. It's probably in the scrap. Well, actually, no. It's probably over here. Is it over here? It's where I keep all my engines. You know. Even this Tecumseh. This Tecumseh is still good. Here's a 6.5 Briggs, 6.75 Briggs, a 3.5 Briggs Max Series, a 4-horse Quantum Briggs, and then we got a 1978 Briggs 3.5 with a step-down shaft. This one just has a little dinky shaft on it, see it? And no, it's not cut. You can tell it's not cut. Well, at least I can tell it's not cut to size, but that is pretty darn small for a lawnmower. It's pretty darn small. My guess is it had a longer adapter that came down to about right there, about maybe an inch. However, I did find this in the hoard, this homemade adapter that I had for years. So I might stick that on the Murray and then give that a shot. So, yeah, I'm gonna get me a cookie tin, which is what I use to hold bolts and shit. What I usually do with these engines is I take apart some of the stuff and I put it in a cookie tin so I don't lose it. And then I fix what needs to be fixed, and I put it all back together and save it to run. Now, with this one, since I don't have a carburetor and gas tank on hand, well, at least to my knowledge, I think it's somewhere over there in the hoard. You can see this entire frickin' place is a mess again. It's been a mess for like years. Oh wait, is that it right there? No, I got scammed. That's an older one with a carburetor that I don't have. That's disappointing. But yeah, it's somewhere. I thought I had it. That's probably it right there. I see it. Let me scooch in here. You can see how much leg room. It's not much. Oh, there's water in it. Hear it? I think you can hear it. But I hear something in it, like liquid. So, look at that. Got a primer coat. Oh. Okay, it's missing the rubber seat that goes right there to let the fuel in, but not back out in or somewhere. I don't freaking know. But yeah, I got another tank. I don't know what shape it's in. I can't get the darn cap off. There. There's something in there. It just smells, I think, like water. Probably because the basement flooded. Okay, yeah, that's water. That's not what you want in your gas tank and carburetor in one. Slightly rusty, but it's still there. I see a tad bit of rust in there, but it's not too bad. I should just be able to clean it out with some bolts and solvent. So what you do, if there's a little bit of rust scaling, like scales of rust, what I usually do is I take some bolts and gasoline, and I'd put them in there, and I would shake the tank up. And what you're doing is you're shaking the bolts all around the tank, and it's hitting the tank inside, and it's basically banging all the rust off, or hitting it all off. And then once you dump it out, it'll look like a old coffee or milkshake. So it even comes with a bolt. I didn't realize that it came with one. So I don't know. We'll give it a try. We'll see what happens, but it doesn't got a primer on it. I'm sure it would work fine without the primer, but I still want it to be good. It doesn't have a linkage, throttle linkage, so that's going to be an issue. I think I have one over in the Horde that I lost, like, I don't know, a year ago. When I had, like, no, not a year ago. I got my time mixed up. It was on the Murray. It was on that 95 Murray. The 20-inch mower I had to junk, but the 22 22-inch with the rear-wheel drive is still out there in the yard. It's just by the two stuff. The Snapper doesn't have an engine. The Murray has an engine, but it's missing a tire, and it needs some stuff, like electrical shit. You know, I love my Murrays. They're cheap. They're cheap. Sure, they don't last forever, but they're cheap and they're good. If it mows grass, it mows grass. If it leaves you with a nice, good-looking yard, it leaves you with a nice, good-looking yard. Okay, that's all you need in a push mower. Is you need a push mower that leaves your yard looking nice. Or you could do it with a riding tractor, or a bagger, or a mulcher, side discharge. I got all three. So I'll monkey with it and see what I can do, because I would love to hear this run today, but I will probably run out of time. But yeah, it's got a coil on it, so that's some good sign. So I'll clean it up, put some string in the pull start, crank it over, see if it got spark, and then put some fuel down the intake and without the carburetor on it, and then I'll see if it'll start. If it will start and run for a second and die, then I know it will run. So I'll monkey around with it